There are a lot of evil organizations or villains within Pokemon that either want to ultimately end the world or seek domination. Whether it be ranging from, extreme environmentalists or mafias, there's quite a range of Pokemon villains within the games. However, all of these villains doing these kinds of things doesn't necessarily mean that they're 100% evil. When looking at the reasoning behind their motives, a lot of them are for the benefit of society, or for their fellow peers at least. Even though they try to execute their plans through the most smooth-brained methods I've ever seen or heard of, at the end of the day, most of the time it is for the benefit of the world. Now, you're probably thinking, but Isaac, you said in your previous videos that these guys are dangerous, they're gonna end the world or possibly even the galaxy. If you listen for 1 second, just sit still and listen for 1 second, look at the video bar below. There's a huge chunk of the video still left, so if you could just let me explain and listen for just 1 second, I'll explain everything to you, you little fuck. So before I start this video, I'd like to thank my friend for giving me this idea. He's the same friend who helped me out with the Pokemon Champions tier list that I made a while back. And we were just talking over Discord about the evil teams and the villains of each game, and just talking about how stupid some of their ideas were and everything. But he also got me thinking about are they actually evil, and looking into the psyche of them. So yeah, thanks for the idea, motherfucker, but it's mine now. Anyway, for this video, I'm gonna rank each main Pokemon game's final boss / villain based on how evil / psycho they are.
According to my research,
Google defines evil as something that is profoundly immoral and wicked. While a lot of these villains do things that are quite immoral, they aren't exactly straight up evil for the most part either. I mean, let's be honest here, we've also broken a few rules here and there, every one of us have at some point, so all of us are slightly a little bit naughty, you know? Anyway, for this ranking, we'll be looking at every final boss / evil team in each game. In my last video about evil teams, I excluded the Aether Foundation and the Macrocosmos Conglomerate. This time, they'll be a part of this video as well. The factors that I'll be looking into are as follows. How immoral are their actions? A little glimpse into their psyche. What's their point of view? And a dash of their manga counterparts. I'll also be following the standard format that I've been going through all along, with the least evil all the way up to the most evil in each team. So let's get straight into it. So there is a little rule out there known as Hanlon's Razor that defines Team Aqua and Magma perfectly. Never attribute to malice that which is adequately explained by stupidity. In layman's terms, this means that bad things sometimes happen because people are just stupid. I mean, I guess we could also apply this to modern politics as well, not to get too political here or anything. FBI, open up! Now already I can hear a large outcry from some of the people here, but again, there's a large chunk of this video left, so let me explain! Yes, it was immoral of Team Aqua and Magma to clear out a dock and a whole mountain respectively for their evil plans, but Archie and Maxie are some of the most smooth-brained motherfuckers I've ever seen in all of Pokemon. They're low-key on par with Hop from Sword and Shield. First off, even if they've never seen Kyogre or Groudon in their lives before summoning them, how the fuck did they get the orb colors wrong? Their team colors are based on the typings as well. Literally, they spend most of the game looking for the red and blue orbs needed to summon Kyogre and Groudon. Red for Groudon, blue for Kyogre. Get it right, please! Are you fucking colorblind? Oh, wait, I'm sorry, please don't cancel me, please! But still, also, again, their goals are so fucking stupid. Archie, if you cover the entire planet with water, where the fuck are we gonna live, huh? How are we gonna grow food? What water will we drink? The ocean's all salt water, so good luck, you moron! And Archie, if we only have fucking land, where the fuck are we gonna get water? And more human industrialization? Great, more global warming, you shithead. Sorry about that. Also, if we look at their manga counterparts, they're more or less the same, except they lose their minds after the orbs overwhelm them with power or something. So they do become full-on psychos, but they're originally just not evil. It's more like being controlled. Now remember kids, stupidity does not equal evil, so that's why I'm putting them at the bottom, no more questions. Alright, let's get this one over with already. Team Meow is quite literally a bunch of cringe anime fan bases simping over one teenager. I'd like to quote this from this one guy's comment right here. I'm assuming the team is comprised of a bunch of fellow teens, because if adults were in there, oh boy. Piers is the leader of Team Yell, and overall, he's not a bad person. In fact, when he sees Marnie's friendship with the trainer, he just seems glad that Marnie has a capable friend to travel with. Hell, he didn't even command the team to commit the small annoyances that they did, like stopping other trainers from taking on gym challenges. Pierce overall is a good guy with a slight sister complex. Oh, only slight though. Hell, he even helps the trainer in the post-game when the whole Dynamax thing goes to shit, and he even uses the team to support the player. In the manga, Pierce is basically the same. Although he is seen to be a little more brutal when it comes to warding off evil, he's still the pure and innocent man that you do see in the game. Pierce is just a cute, wholesome Onicho. The other members of the team though? Dial your obsession back just a little bit, you fucking weirdos. As I said in my previous video, Team Star's comprised of bully victims seeking revenge for bullying. Overall though, their goals are pretty justified, because again, I personally blame their school's faculty for not preventing the bullying overall. Now, there's not a whole lot to go into, since Penny, the leader of Team Star, has only really committed one crime so far, which is hacking into the Pokemon League management systems. I mean, yeah, hacking is a pretty bad crime, and I'm assuming that the management systems has a lot of personal student and security info, but she hasn't really used that information in a threatening way. Her main goal overall, though, in the games at least I think, was to disband Team Star in order to prevent all the members from getting expelled. So her intentions are really pure, and they were just nuisances to the school rather than other people. Also, if you look at the gameplay, not a whole lot of people seem to be that bothered that there's an organization of, like, anti-bullies out there. So I can't say that the team is evil overall. Also, Scarlet and Violet doesn't seem to have a complete manga series at the moment, so I can't take account into her manga personality just yet. Slight heads up, I'm also going to keep referencing my last Pokemon video. Please go watch it. You gotta love the advertising, right? And a lot of the comments that you guys gave me, yes, I do read those. It's just sometimes I'm a bit busy to respond to a lot of these, so I'm sorry about that. But a lot of you guys do help me out with my research quite a bit, and give me a lot more insights that I kind of overlooked maybe. But yes, I am going to keep referencing that video because this is kind of like a continuation of that video. Anyway, going back to that video once again, it seems that I did leave out that Team Skull did take over a whole town to make it their base of operations. So kudos to this commenter right here for actually pointing that out for me. Guzma is the leader of this team, and he's quite the interesting character, I would say. Guzma is simply misguided, I would say. It's not a phase, Mom! Although he is quite the troublemaker of his team, he did commit some crimes without really questioning the morality of it. As I mentioned before, he did have his team take over an entire town to make it to his base of operations. Driving out an entire town is pretty evil since you're kicking out a bunch of innocent people from their homes using your dangerous Pokemon. And even if he did do it with good intentions, it's still not right. He also failed to question the morality of stealing other people's Pokemon when he himself cares very deeply about his own. Now, people will argue that it was because he was being groomed by another villain we'll talk about later in this list, but he still had a choice. Even if he was feeling down since he believed that all adults except this particular one didn't acknowledge him, he should have been able to distinguish between right and wrong. While he didn't do anything that bad to the Pokemon that he still stole them at the end of the day without question, which is pretty fucked up and hypocritical since a large majority of trainers form a deep emotional bond with their Pokemon. In the manga, he's slightly more fucked up, I would say. In the games and anime, he's known to care very deeply for his members. But in the manga, he's just a little bit more irrational and sometimes beats his members for messing up a task. There was even one part where he was a serious threat when he used Cosmog to release Ultra Beasts into the town. He didn't even seem to regret causing all this destruction and havoc. But overall, I would say that since, he's still a teen, he just needed better guidance from more trusting adults and less hormones. Greek mythology is filled of stories of heroes, villains, and gods alike learning about a terrible fate befalling them and trying to prevent it. Ironically though, the steps they take to prevent these terrible fates is what ultimately causes their downfall. And this concept pretty much sums up the story of our next villain, Chairman Rose. Rose is the main villain of the Sword and Shield games, who wants to bring upon the second Darkest Day in order to solve an oncoming energy crisis for Galar. Even though it was predicted to come like 1,000 years ahead of time, fucking Avatar looking ass. Anyway, the Darkest Day is an event that happens when the legendary Pokemon Eternatus reigns over the world, absorbing the region's energy and causing random Pokemon to Dynamax/Gigantamax and go berserk. While on this journey, Rose uses his resources to find wishing stars to feed to Eternatus, which he had confined within his compound. Now, I'm just gonna go ahead and admit it right now. A lot of these villains are just dumbasses/smooth brain to think that they can even control a legendary Pokemon in the first place. Although he did end up turning himself in for his crimes at the end, it doesn't absolve him of other crimes as well, such as grooming. Now hold on, let me explain. Just sit tight there for a second. Throughout Sword and Shield, one of the reoccurring trainers that you face is Bede. I am assuming that's how his name is pronounced. Every time you face him, he fights for the sake of Chairman Rose, and when he fails for like the third time in a row or something, he's just thrown away by the chairman. Bede also devoted his entire life to Chairman Rose, since he was practically raised by him. But all he was simply a tool. This was basically one of the most evil things that he's done overall though. Like, he didn't have bad intentions, but he was also just stupid and manipulative. Now in the manga, he's also not very much different. He's a very one-dimensional villain in my opinion, because it was just a guy with way too much money and time trying to be the hero of the story. But instead, he just, sends the entire region into danger and manipulates kids to do his bidding, which is fucked up. But yeah, overall, Chairman Rose isn't too evil, but he has done a lot of evil things overall. Okay, so far I've covered about half the villains that I was going to rank throughout this list. But the video is getting a little bit long and I want to beat the algorithm. But in all seriousness, I think this video is getting a little bit too long and there's a lot of stuff that I would have to edit, and I'm also testing out Adobe Premiere Pro right now, so that's something new, I guess. But yeah, if anyone's gonna comment on this video, I'd like you to, try to predict the top 5, or also, give me your thoughts on this as well. I'd really love to hear them. And again, I do read your comments. Sometimes I'm just a little too busy to reply to them though, and I'm sorry about that. So yeah, I hope you guys look forward to the next video. If you don't, but hey, you know what that means. I'm gonna hit you with